Hi everyone. Warm welcome to my channel Yummy to present the most delicious and easy recipes. We are here to enjoy cooking. I kindly request you to subscribe to my channel, add some comments and smash the like button.
Thing that they seem to do, and this is me watching them in a raw setting, so I can't see clearly and there is no description, but I think first thing they do is they add a little water to the rice, not much, and then they spend quite a bit of time mixing it through. Not entirely sure why. My guess, if I was trying to work it out from a food tech science point of view, is that mixing the water, a little bit of water gets inside the actual grain itself, and sunlight must soften or pre-do something. So when it goes into the hot environment, maybe the sudden evaporation of the water on the inside makes it swell up and burst. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I looked at this stage and thought maybe this stage isn't necessary, but I'm going to go as clear to what I saw them do as possible. So they add a little water and then spend about a good 2 or 3 minutes mixing all the way through. Don't know why, but I'm going to do that myself, see what happens. Okay, so I've mixed it around for about 2 or 3 minutes. I can't tell exactly what difference that's actually made. I think some of those starches are starting to be released, but I don't know if it's the agitation or the water. I'm not entirely sure what this stage does. Maybe I'll have to do an experiment to do with or without, but for now I'm going to try and copy what I think I saw them doing as best as possible, and let's see what kind of results we get. So the next thing I saw them do, which is interesting, is after they spent all the time putting the water in and mix it round, they spent about 5 minutes slowly drying it back out again. So let's go over to the hob and do the drying out stage. So what I've done, I just dropped in the rice, and on the video which I was watching, they seem to, after they've put the moisture in, they seem to have dried out the rice. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. I'm just going to try and dry it out on the stove. Like I said, I'm not quite sure exactly what this stage does, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get Rice Krispies. It's the first time I'm doing it, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and dry these out for a good 5 minutes and then return back to see what we get. Okay, I've been sort of drying them out now for about 5 minutes. I think they're dry. I think they're supposed to be dry. So I'm going to stop that now. So far, we've sort of half soaked or mixed in a few tablespoons of water into our rice grains, and then we dry them back out again. And I'm not sure exactly what difference that's made. The rice grains seem a little softer, seem a little more translucent, so maybe it's done something. The next stage now, when I was watching the video, what they did, they actually put the rice into hot sand. So they had sand on like a bowl thing that's heated with cold, and as soon as the sand went in, they mixed the sand all around, so the heat went all around the rice, and they started to just puff up like Rice Krispies. And then they sifted out the sand and put the Rice Krispies one side and the sand back in the heat. Now we don't have sand. Maybe I'll get some sand and clean it and try that another time. So instead of using sand, I'm going to use oil, because I've also seen a technique done using oil. Not quite as healthy, because obviously we're sort of frying in a way. But at least let's see, by way of experiment, if we get the similar kind of results. I'm going to pour in some oil. Now the cool thing about this is that I've never done this before, so I don't know what I'm going to get. And I'm still thinking, and I'm in two minds. I think, well, if it doesn't come out well, I'm even going to show you my failed attempt. But maybe I will, maybe I won't. If you see this, maybe you're only going to see it because it actually worked. We shall see. Anyway, I'm going to heat up the oil, and then I'm going to drop one rice grain in to see what happens. And if that appears to be a success, then I'll drop a few more in, and then we'll see what happens, and I'll fish them out with this. I've thrown a grain in. It's Not as if come out like what I call popcorn. Come out like what I call Rice Krispies. Keep going popcorn. Not working out yet. Nope. This hasn't worked as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to try a couple more grains with the temperature a little bit higher. And then what I do, because that's not worked, I'm not going to dump a whole bunch of rice in there. I'm going to cook the rice, then try it again, see what comes out. Okay, so cook the rice now, and it's just let it dry out a little bit on this sort of sieve. And to make it dry out further, I'm going to put this in the oven, just so it gets really, really dry, evaporates all the water out. Next step, drop it in the oil. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we end up at some part of this process with anything that looks like Rice Krispies. So I'm going to pop this in the oven just to kind of dry this out a little bit, maybe for half an hour or so, then we'll return. Okay, so our rice is out of the oven. It's been kind of half cooked and then fully dried out. I'll dip it into here. Alright. Okay. What I'm going to do now is drop it into, heat up our oil, drop it in, see what happens. Alright, I preheated it, the oil's pretty hot. I'm going to throw in some rice, let's just see what happens. Woo! Here we go. This kind of works. What I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it all in. What the heck. Woo! You hear it snap, crackling and popping. There we go. Pour it off. Some puffed rice. There you go. It's worked. A little bit of a time-consuming process, but I'm sure if you with a bit of practice you can refine that. Now, depending on what kind of rice you use will depend on how fat it fluffed up. This is just whole grain rice. Maybe I'll try it again with different types of rice, but that's not a bad result. So there we have it. How to make Rice Krispies. I think that's been a decently successful experiment. I think we can get even better results if we use the same kind of rice that is actually using Rice Krispies. But for this particular whole grain variety, I think we can at least see that it has puffed up. It's crispy, tastes quite nice. I think we'll call that success. What we do now, put it in a little container. And we've got a nice taste of cereal to use.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Do not forget to subscribe, and we need comments. And help me to share my channel by smashing the like button, that really does help.